Hi guys, today let us see GenAI interview questions and how to prepare for GenAI. It is a new technology, not pretty new because ChatGPT most of us are using, but how you can be a GenAI engineer and grab an opportunity in the industry. Let's go into the questions. The first question in interview, it will be asked like, explain one project which you worked end to end, or tell about the project which you worked. So we have to pick one project and explain about that particular project. What is your contribution to as a Gen AI engineer? Okay. So here I have taken the project called Intelligent Document Questioning Answering System for Large Enterprise Documents, where problem is business users need accurate answers from the large documents which consist about 1,000 to 2,000 pages. It can be policy manuals, technical specs, and compliance document. Okay, manual search may be slow and error prone process. You can think about any manufacturer companies who build machineries, for example, right? And the machinery is made of a lot of specs. Even aeroplane have a lot of components. Then there is a manual which they have to refer, right? So just an example. So this is the problem statement, and every time they don't want to go to large documents. So my company, I am supporting to automate my end-to-end work. Here is first the data ingestion. The document can be PDF, Word files, or any scanned documents. Then pre-processing it like OCR, where you take the document as images and you clean up the text, duplicates, chunking it, splitting the documents, and metadata extraction from the document. Well, then comes the model approach, where I use hybrid solution using fine-tuned LLM plus RAG. Fine tuning is a domain specific LoRa fine tuning on historical question and answer. So LoRa is kind of a framework or a type of fine tuning. Fine tuning is your existing AI model. Okay, I will not go into detail, where the specific question is all about explaining your project alone. Retrieval, so vector database with hierarchical chunking, inference, which is like how you are getting response, which is VLLM from high throughput serving. Deployment, Docker plus Kubernetes plus CI/CD deployments. Then I am also staying monitoring where latency, token usage, hallucination rate. These all kind of make them to feel that we are working in like we are working in the production. And outcome is 40 to 50% improvement in answer accuracy. I hope this is just uh, a simple project which I have taken, that I have worked on it, where it considers 1,000 to 2,000 pages, which I am converting as a GenAI application. So anyone ask a question, it will give an accurate answer. For that, considering this 1,000 documents, I am data ingestion, pre-processing it, model approach, fine tuning it, retrieving it, interference, deployment, and monitoring. Okay, you should take any use case in such a way that you were able to explain about your contribution and what you do in the project. And main reason is the problem statement, why that particular project has been implemented in your company and what problem statement it's solving. Is actually GenAI is helping there or not? That is what the interviewer will try to understand. Okay, then it comes the specific technical questions which you want to evaluate that really you have knowledge on and hands-on on the technology. How to run the model and deploy the model. Okay, first thing is run the model. Model run will have training and inference. Inference is nothing but how you deploy the model and consume the model. So first is load-based LLM, Llama, Mistral, Qwen. Apply LoRa adapters. LoRa is a low ranking. It's a framework which you have to learn. It's run inference using Hugging Face, Transformers, VLLM. So VLLM is something you have to read. It's a production scale thing where instead of hiring huge GPUs, you can efficiently run the models. So first you have to load the model, then apply the LoRa adapter, then run the inference using VLLM. Then deployment flow. So you have to package the model plus tokenize, export LoRa adapters or merged model, create Docker images, deploy Kubernetes. Yeah, so it was a sound with deploying in Kubernetes, expose with REST API or gRPC API, add auto scaling and monitoring. So, so it's a very deployment flow. Let's package it, export the model or merge the model, create the Docker image. Docker image is to run as a container, and the Docker image will be deployed into Kubernetes. There is ECR or EACR container registry will come into the play. But simple flow is you have to create a Docker image and then you have to deploy, then expose it as an API, then have auto scaling. Kubernetes has HPA, horizontal powered auto scaling, and and monitoring the environment. Production stack again, we consider about Docker, Kubernetes, CI/CD pipeline, API gateway, as we are going to expose your models as APIs or services. Then observability, which comes from Prometheus or Grafana, whatever it is. This is the production stack. Okay. And again, these are something I am giving you an idea. Your actual environment can be different. So you add your tech production stack, your deployment for your model run, or you see something your company is using. So try to read or try to talk to your friends in industry and accordingly add it. Know what is relevant. This is give you some idea about the running and deploying the model. So types of fine tuning LoRa, QLoRa, often misheard as LoRa or eLoRa. So it is LoRa and QLoRa. LoRa is when you have the GPU memory sufficient. QLoRa is when GPU memory is limited because it's quantized LoRa, which means you can run the model with the reduced size. So quantized means 32-bit model can run in 16-bit or 4-bit. That is what QLoRa does. So coming back, that LoRa is low rank adaptation. QLoRa is quantized LoRa. So what LoRa does is freezes the base model, train small adapter layers, faster and cheaper than full fine tuning, require more GPU memory than QLoRa used when GPU memory is sufficient. Okay, basically instead of you take a model and train it fully, this LoRa will help us to fine tune or change the parameters and make sure the model is trained. Okay. Second is QLoRa. So QLoRa is again the base model quantized to 4-bit. So quantized is reducing the bit. So this is why in product we can run with limited GPU. Trains adapter in 16-bit, much lower VRAM usage, slightly slower but very cost efficient. So this LoRa and QLoRa basically does same, whereas QLoRa is quantized to reduce the bits to run the model in limited GPU. Okay, so these are two types. Again, the question is about two types of fine tuning. Okay, so train small adapter layers. How you going to freeze the base model? This all you have to study detailing. This is to give an idea that LoRa and QLoRa is something you have to be prepared when you go for an interview in GenAI, which will specifically comes on the fine tuning. Okay, then huge documents. What do you use other than drag? So currently you given a use case where in the start what you will work. You said I will work on no 1,000 2,000 pages of document and get accurate answer from the document. So now the question is, now you have very large documents. Okay, it's RAG is it's not, what is RAG is like you put all the PDF in one database, vector database, which you have explained in first. You have explained no vector database. where you do the hierarchy chunking and you put it, right? So now what they're going to question, what are the other methods? Okay, so addition, hierarchy chunking, selection, sub-selection, and paragraph, document summarization at ingestion, domain fine-tuning on document-specific Q&A, knowledge graph extraction, hybrid search, which is like hybrid search, which is like, no, you can use keyword search as well as the similarity search. Keyword searches matches the exact keyword which the user has given in the prompt. So that is the BM25 is a keyword search. Metadata driven retrieval. Okay. Production system usually use RAG. Okay. And indexing. Okay. RAG plus fine tuning plus indexing improvements. So these three things you have to tell: RAG plus fine tuning plus indexing improvement. And this is where this hybrid search, metadata driven retrieval comes into the play. Knowledge graph extraction. These are the different strategies which you can use to handle the large number of documents. Okay. Then model deployment, production view, how we will deploy. Already we saw we will deploy in Kubernetes and we will expose as an API. It is more specific to your model itself. First, key deployment consider model size and quantization. What is your model size? Latency versus accuracy trade-off. When you deploy it, how much time it will take you to respond? 10 millisecond, 30 millisecond is a latency delay. Accuracy is the answer which it is replying, how accurate, how relevant it is for the question. Okay, so both need to be do so that it should be immediately responding, the latency should be less, and it should be accurate also. GPU utilization, failover strategy, these are the key consideration when you deploy the model into a production. Typical production flow look like: user will use an API gateway to access your LLM service and retrieve it from the model and response it. So scaling is, as I already told, horizontal pod scaling. Model sharding, it's okay, which means it is kind of no help the model to respond. Token based rate limiting. So this token based rate limiting, where you see, in if you don't pay for now, you have plus plan, ChatGPT or Claude, when you pay, you can use more token, more no after usage is calculated in LLM based on the tokens. So token based rate limiting. So these are the things you have to consider when actually you deploy the model into the production. How to increase accuracy for 2000 page document? Again, the more questions on GenAI is all about accuracy only. Okay. So accuracy, so multi-layer accuracy strategy. First is smart document chunking, semantical plus structure, session-aware retrieval, query rewriting, ranking retrieval chunks, domain fine-tuning, answer verification paths, human in feedback loop. Okay, evaluation. Accuracy is a system design problem, not just a model problem. Okay, you understood. That is where this GenAI engineer is really required, because model is going to have trained on huge number of data, so model can give answer. It is the accuracy is more related to system design, and who is going to design the system is you, the as a GenAI engineer or GenAI architect. So that's why you have to know about all these different steps. Okay, and I'm not going in detail. These are the things you have to be prepared when you go for the GenAI interview. What is re-ranking retrieval chunks? Okay, so the k equal to 5, and the top k will, like when I say k is top k value. So you will understand when you go into detail into these topics. VLLM and inference, often called as inference in the interviews. The inference is the place where everyone is researching now, because when you run in production, there is think about ChatGPT. How many users all over the world they are using, and ChatGPT responses it back, right? Huge number of data centers and investment. For our production application, how are we going to manage the high performing inference engine using paged attention, efficient GPU memory management, support batching and streaming. So basically, why VLLM is 3 to 5x higher throughput, higher latency at scale, ideal for production APIs. LLM is for serving, not for training. Training is a different model. Training is completely different purpose. LLM is a different. LLM is where it tries to answer the question to the users, but it is not for training, right? So that is where our application itself will use LLM but beyond the screen, the model, the LLM is going to help them. It's all the training will be taken different. That's where this LoRa, QLoRa comes into the place. This inference layer you have to be very clear. And here I have given VLLM. Maybe there could be many other frameworks or division comes. And if you have your own flavor how you are running LLM in production, you can add it here. Okay. What is an API platform? Basically, when I say I deploy the models as a API. Sorry, not API. Again, it's AI platform. So there could be a question that how you built an AI platform. If you are from infrastructure background and you want to convey that I am running the Gen AI applications into the my infrastructure. I am modeling the infrastructure, right? So, or you are a Gen AI engineer where you build a platform for other AI engineers or other engineers to build the Gen AI application and deploy, right? So the AI platform is the end-to-end system that supports data ingestion, model training, experiment tracking, deployment, monitoring, governance. So this all you built as an AI platform, and so that anyone wants to build and deploy the AI Gen AI application, they will use your platform so that they don't need to worry about monitoring and governance or model training. You will able to give those features in your AI platform itself. Example component: feature store, model registry where you can put your models, training pipeline, inference services like we discussed, VLLM, observability, security and access control. Examples: so SageMaker is from AWS, Azure ML, Vertex AI, internal Gen AI platform. So these are the examples which you can get. So the internal Gen AI platform is something you have been experienced or built, kind of. Okay, so basically, since you know about GenAI, how it built, so every time and the GenAI application is built, everyone have to go through the same process. Instead of that, we are giving a reusable pipeline, reusable templates, and making it as an AI platform. Okay, simple Python program in interview, they can expect you because all GenAI is about Python. So simple, if they ask any Python program, mainly you have to know how to load the model and run the inference. So load the model from transformers, import auto tokenize auto model for ALM. So first comes the model name, Meta LLM Llama, so Meta Llama 2, which so this is how the model loading is happening. Then tokenizer, auto tokenizer, pre-trained model name, prompt, explain what LoRa fine tuning is. So input prompt, input tokenizer, you sending the prompt and return the PT. So in input, a model will generate the input, and the token size is you are giving 100. So print the tokenizer plus decode output, skip the special tokens equal to true. So here you are explaining the tokenization. So you need to understand the tokenization, model loading, how you load the model, generation, how you are generating, how you are decoding the output. Okay. So this is very so in this concept, if you are very good, they will beyond that they will not ask much. At least these are the basics things which you can loading the model and tokenizing and generating an output and decoding is a very important steps. Okay. Final tips, what I will say is always try to answer why this method, how do you scale, how do you reduce cost, how do you improve accuracy. Okay. So it's an interviewer will be thinking that you will be deploying the model and exposing the model as APIs, right? But why, how, and what benefits you got. Main question: how you improve the accuracy in your model, because now you understood Gen AI application is all about putting the data and retrieving from the data. So instead of putting the model is already pre-trained and you want to make the model domain specific, you have to be using fine tuning, or you put a rack system, put the PDF, and make this model to respond from your own PDF private data. But the main thing is how you will improve the accuracy. and how you will reduce the cost with all this GPU and stuff, and how do you scale when large number of users has come, and why you went to this method, why Lara, why Q Lara, kind of questions you need to answer. Okay, so thank you guys, and all the best for your interview. These are really basics, but we can do advanced session also. Hope you understood. If any questions, you can always question me or put it in the comment. Thank you. See you. All the best.